Welcome again to Arise Africa. Yes, we are always excited when it's time to be here, right here on set, talking to you every Friday. Yes, it's always an exciting time. I am Chichi Nwabo, and with me is
Sadiq Olamide. I hope we meet you well today. So it's time for the crux of the matter, and we have a special guest in our midst, in the studio already, but we would unveil what we have to discuss with you today, and so please stay with us.
Welcome back to Arise Africa, and today it's a very interesting topic that I do know that you want to say one or two things about. Talking about many people relocating abroad say they do so in search of better living conditions. Yes, for economic reasons, but do they really find that dream life after migration? Who should migrate? What does it take to do so? Recently the Nigerian Immigration Service shared a post where they asked Nigerians, they told Nigerians that they need to think deeply over the bogus offer of a better life abroad. Well, they said you may end up in modern day slavery. Well, they said not all that glitters is gold. And guess what the reaction of most Nigerians was? Nigerians actually, most of them actually condemned what the Nigerian Immigration Service posted on social media. So that means that today would like to talk about this particular, I would say, interesting topic.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the pros and cons of migration, pros and cons of relocating abroad. That is the subject of discussion today. And to deal with this particular topic is our special guest. I call him special because he's well traveled. He's well traveled and is most suitable for this particular topic. Is Mr. Adewale Ajiboye. Is an economics, is an entrepreneur, the owner, the founder of Taverna, of Suit Yourself, to mention but a few. Yes. So you're welcome.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, sir.
Yeah,
It's good to have you on the show.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Sir, we would like to, start from the very, very beginning. We have reactions that would love to show, but before then, we want you to just shed a little light on what migration is all about. Some persons just believe, hey, they go abroad, We just want you to shed a little light on migration.
Okay, migration, as it sounds, simply put, it means when you move from one location to another. But most Nigerians will look at it that when you move out of the country.
Yes.
Okay.
But you can actually migrate within the country. If you are moving from Warri to Lagos, for instance, it's also migration.
It's migration.
Yes.
So migration is big, it's encompassing.
Yeah.
So that's it. So it's all about movement.
Movement from one place to the other. Yeah. Okay, today's topic, a lot of people have been raising reactions, and we went on the streets. We wanted to know what people had to say about either staying in their country or, of course, moving elsewhere or moving within the country. And here's a reaction from the streets.
Good afternoon, sir. So how you dey do now? Wetin be your name, sir?
My name is Isaac Achiko.
Okay, Mr. Isaac, tell us wetin you dey do, sir?
I be businessman, the supply bread, the bake, I'm into pastries.
Wow, that's good. Okay, sir, the question now, you go stay Naija or you go travel go abroad? Which one you prefer?
I like my Nigeria. The reason I like Nigeria to stay Nigeria be say na my ground. I know all the terrain. I know how to hustle. I know where I fit go make money. But if I make I travel go abroad now, I dey go for in my country. I don't know their terrain. I can't go start all over again. It's okay. Go this way. You not get paper. Hide. Dodge. I rather stay where I be king than where I can't go be say I can't be slave because say I dey find money. Money dey Nigeria.
I would like travel abroad now.
Oh, yeah, tell us why you prefer to stay abroad.
Because Nigeria too bad, I beg. Almost see light, no lights, nothing. The weather itself even hot. You just check all that sun, nothing there. No good road. Everybody just suffer from Nigeria, I beg.
Why I not go stay my country now? Where FCC need they pursue me? I like Nigeria because people were lazy, now they fear for this Nigeria. They feel say money no dey better. Too much money dey this our country. If you know your rights, you will make them for here. And even me, as I did this Nigeria, I see even upon the sun, they see now say, I never they chop money with my skin they shine. Nigeria they make your skin they shine.
Okay, thank you very much.
I go prefer to go abroad.
But yeah, tell us why you go prefer to go abroad.
Sincerely, I don't say this Nigeria, now zoo, because as I am now, I be graduate. I graduated 2007. Up till now, I know how many applications I don't apply. Even the government, they hopeless. You know, some people, you apply even though you dey qualified, they don't see you work. So if you not get God, you just a waste for this Nigeria. So if I get any opportunity to go abroad, I will go, because I believe say the government when they abroad, they more organized than our government here. We know they see many things they do. So we know if you talk, if you talk, they will just silence you. Okay. So that's why there's no, you can't express your rights in this country.
I don't like staying in Nigeria. If I get opportunity to go abroad, 1 minute, I don't go.
If I want to stay in my country.
If you ask me, I will love staying in Nigeria. On the second thought, I no go like stay in Nigeria. I no go like stay in Nigeria at all.
Oh yeah, why you no go like stay in Nigeria? Make we even still know that one. Why you no go like stay in Nigeria?
You cannot compare England with Nigeria. You know if you compare UK, Canada with Nigeria now. Everywhere soft now.
It's unfortunate. If I have the money, if I had the grace and opportunity, I can leave. Because Nigeria don't have future for the youth.
If person finish school, see work to do in Nigeria. Again, system of Nigeria they fail. Everybody they struggle to eat. The big men say they don't care. President, they don't care. People on the seat, they don't care. Everybody they look after your own family. They will carry their children to abroad, and they will like disaster, trouble in this Nigeria. So I would like to travel abroad.
Education when government doesn't free for Nigeria, but not be so. You will not be free. You go to government school, they'll say pay. They're going to drive a children they commerce. So the thing is me. But if not that side, the thing is not be like that. We go to enjoy for that side. Mosquito not going to bite us. Here we not get better water for here. No mosquito they full here. No remedy for this side. But for that side, so things they okay for there. Our people they go that side, they would prefer to vote for there than to vote on this Nigeria. They not like they come here. Who like suffer? I don't for my life. I know my pikin live their life. As I live for Nigeria, they suffer so. I want to just say my pikin become better person, make travel arts. So when I see go that side, so I'm gonna say yes. I get pikin go to that side, go to Omugo for that side. I not like on Nigeria again.
All right, welcome back. Pretty interesting, having to go to the street to find out what people's reaction would be concerning traveling abroad. And we got a pretty interesting one. Just imagine the first guy that said, I was surprised because
I didn't expect it.
Saying that he's used to Nigerian system and it's very comfortable.
So true. A lot of persons don't know how to live somewhere else. Like if I'm used to things being done this way, I can't just adjust. There are people like that, so I wouldn't blame him.
But the majority seem to think that traveling abroad is a good idea. So why do you think so? Why do you think a lot of Nigerians would rather travel abroad than be in Nigeria?
Well, for most Nigerians who want to travel abroad, obviously they're looking for better opportunities.
Yes.
And the fact that the opportunities are not here in Nigeria is actually a failure of the leadership structure.
Okay.
Because I consider myself privileged, and I was very happy when I was called to talk about migration, because I've actually traveled out of the country so many times by the nature of the business I was engaged in. And I'll tell you one thing, being out there is not a bed of roses.
Okay.
And one of the major things you have to be prepared psychologically, because when you go there, you cannot be treated as a first-class citizen.
Okay.
So that one alone is a lot of weight for you to carry. They have good infrastructure, they have good leadership, they have power, everything. But psychologically, when it stares on your face that you are not one of them, it's a big problem. So those are things that Nigerians really need to think about. And for my interaction with those abroad, all they tell me, if things can only get better in Nigeria, I'll run back. So that's the situation we're in now.
Talking about the bed of roses, you said traveling out of the country is not a bed of roses. I would just love you to shed a little light, like probably give us an example.
it's not a bed of roses because Nigerians are well educated and very intelligent.
Sure.
But I'll tell you, when those opportunities come out over there, they will not consider you first. They will consider their indigents.
Very true.
The only area where probably they will consider you first is if you are in the medical line.
Okay.
But those are things you can't toy with. But when it comes to administrative jobs or any other kind of job, trust me, Nigerians will not get those jobs. Most of the jobs that Nigerians get are just probably they are not interested in. And what you have is Nigerians living there, they're able to pay for the basic necessities, but what can they bring back home? There's nothing. So it's not entirely a rosy experience for Nigerians out there.
Yeah. We've actually had quite a number of stories. There was this one I actually knew. We heard he traveled out. He was actually having a lucrative job in Nigeria, and for some reasons he decided he was going to migrate. He felt there were better opportunities, he would better be recognized, you know, make more money and all that. Unfortunately, he got there, he couldn't get a job rather, you know, the kind of job he wanted, and he had to do menial jobs. Even though he was even an administrative staff, he was someone who was big in his company right here. He was more like someone in the business, money line, you know. And he got there, and he couldn't save up enough money to even renew his permits, you know, in the country, and even come back to Nigeria at the end of the day that he wanted. He preferred to go underground and, you know, scrump whatever he could. Why would someone want to do that? I mean, if no, I want to know, better. Like you scrump whatever in that foreign country, is it so like full of glitter?
No, I would do, because now you have to, assessing that situation, you have to look at, there are other reasons for migration. It's not just opportunities alone.
Yes.
There could be social factors, there could be religious factors, there could be even environmental factors. Africa is a hot region. There are some people who prefer cold regions.
Yes.
Okay. It could be maybe because of the poor power we have in the country. I personally don't like the sound of a generator.
I don't either.
So you could have a good paying job in Nigeria, but when the infrastructure, the enabling environment is not there, you would rather leave. So, and whatever you see over there, because they have those structures in place, they will rather manage with whatever they can get there. So it's not about how much they are paying you. You could have a good job, but having a good job and not being able to use that money effectively because the enabling environment is not there, it makes a lot of people want to leave. So there are lots of reasons. You have to look at the basic reasons, not just having a good job. So that is why that man decided to stay over there. Because, frankly, the infrastructure they have over there is top notch. You can't imagine. Recently I was in Accra. Imagine a country in West Africa. I was there for 5 days. There was no interruption of power. And I was interested. I was like, I wouldn't mind coming to stay in a country like this. For power alone, power is a basic, fundamental problem in this country. You know, a lot of people are spending so much. I run a business. I know how much I spend on diesel. It's not easy. So there are lots of factors. So that's one thing we need to consider.
Talking about migration anyway, we know everything that has a positive side definitely has a negative side. So we want you to throw light on that based on your experiences.
Yeah, I'll give you one experience. Like I said, I've been privileged, and my kids, I had them in America. And the major reason I did that was because I felt they have better medical facilities. I didn't want to take chances.
Yeah.
And I and my wife, we went to Atlanta.
Okay.
She was very worried, thinking, oh, because she was pregnant, maybe they would send her back. But I told her to relax. There's no law. There's no American law that states that I cannot come over and have a baby there.
Yes.
So we went in, I came back to Nigeria, and when she gave birth, I returned. And when I got to immigration, the first question they asked me, because one thing, they have good data, they have records of your in and out.
Yeah.
And the man looked at me and said, you came into this country with your wife. Where is she? Why are you coming back alone? And I said, yeah, she came to have a baby. And the guy was very angry with me. He said, why would you come and have a baby in America? Would I come and have a baby in Nigeria?
Okay.
And I had to, because I'm a self-confident man, I came up with reasons.
Okay.
And he was asking me, you want to become an American citizen? I said, I don't need to become an American citizen. I work in a company called Chevron. I can afford to have my child in America, and I came here because of the better medical facilities that you have. So you see, you'll be faced with a lot of psychological torment.
Yeah.
Then one other instance again, I stayed in a hotel in Atlanta, and I had about $10,000 in my wallet, and I was very careless, and it got missing. And the police was called in. And when the police came in, he looked at me, you know, probably as an African. He said, even the toppest of rich American millionaires don't carry $10,000 in their wallet. That he has doubts that I came in with that kind of money. And I had a good answer. I said, you just go to your immigration. Every record of monetary that I bring into this country is recorded. And he kept quiet. So why would they say those things? I'm a black man. So you have to be prepared for those kind of situations. And not a lot of people can take it.
Yes,
that's just the truth.
Definitely true.
So there are pros and there are cons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, there are actually some countries that are kind of preferred countries when it has immigration in for Nigerians. I mean, people have used it to make quite a lot of money. It's so lucrative, you know, to be, you know, to like brandish yourself as someone, an agent, you know, who could take them to Canada, United States of America, to the UK, to Germany, to France, you know, these countries and all that. So what is the lure? Is it really possible that you know, some kind of migration could actually lead to modern day slavery? So I'm asking two questions. One, what's the lure? And is it possible for it to lead to modern day slavery? It's
possible, and it's also not possible. You mentioned Canada. Canada as a country is a very big country with very low population. So Canadians actually want people. So it's like a footballer. When you have a talent, you are a local footballer, then a foreign club wants you, they sign you on. And when you get there, because of your talent, you are treated as a king. So modern day slavery, for me, applies to people who they don't really want. If they want you, Canada is looking for people in the oil industry, people in the medical field. Trust me, you will not be treated as a slave when you get there, because they are asking for you. But when you force yourself to go into a country where you now have to compete with the indigents for the available resources, the available amenities, they will not be happy with you. And what you probably have are menial jobs, like security guards, people working in a club. So those kind of jobs is what you're talking about. That's what you refer to as modern day slavery. Because imagine a professor, a graduate, going to work in a bar in London. That's slavery. So those are the ways. Even expatriates come into Nigeria to work because we want them. And when they come, they go back. So there has to be the need for you to come over there. And when you are there, you are treated as a king because of what you possess, the talent that you have. So those are the issues.
Just now, you ended the earlier statements with there are pros and cons to these things. There's pros and cons to this migration, which is the major topic we're discussing today. So could you shed light on the pros and the cons, the do's and the don'ts?
There are more of pros, actually. In terms of, definitely, for a graduate coming out of university in a country like America or Canada, you definitely have a job. You don't, there's no time wasting. Unlike in Nigeria, where there are lots of graduates roaming around. And that's why we have all manner of illegal vices going on. Imagine the number of time you spend in university. The strikes here and there. You now come out and there's no job. The calendar year in a university in America, even Accra, is uninterrupted. You're going in for a 4-year course, you spend your 4 years. So that is a pro.
Okay, so that means if you're going for educational reasons.
Yes. Not just that alone. Then when you now come at the infrastructure, like I said earlier, it is top notch. You have power, you have good roads, you have electricity, you have, you know, everything. I personally, when I'm in America, I can afford to drive at night because of good security. I'm not bothered about somebody stopping me on the highway or something. So when you begin to look at these pros, it's very, very enticing. But the cons lies more with being treated as a second-class citizen. Racism. That one is very key. I will be very frank with you. Whites generally don't like blacks. Most times, for instance, I went into a restaurant in Mississippi, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Maybe I got in. There was an expression on the face of the man at the other counter. The man also attacked. He walked back like, oh, this man could have a gun. You know, there's a way they look at us. You know, so emotionally, you can suffer
Yeah.
when you find yourself in those kind of situations. And I will actually say, and I hope Nigeria will become really better, because there's nothing as good as staying within your people.
Okay.
That one gives you a lot of strength, staying within your people. So there are more pros, but I will actually advise Nigerians to be patient with this government, with this country, and things will get better. Yeah.
What do you think are, the impacts of migration on the hosts? I'm talking about where you migrate to, and then on the country where you have to leave. Because I know there's been a lot of talk about it. I mean, Nigeria, where the best minds, migrate out of the country and all that. What do you think?
It has a very negative impact on the host country like Nigeria, because when you migrate and you go to a foreign country to work, you are paying taxes to that country. You are increasing the GDP of that country to the detriment of your own country. Imagine most of the best gynecologists in America are Nigerians. So imagine me as a Nigerian, I want healthcare. I have to buy foreign exchange to go to America to get the best. And I'm increasing the resource base of America to the detriment of Nigeria. Imagine if those Nigerians that have this quality were in Nigeria. They'll be paying taxes to Nigeria. They'll be increasing the GDP.
But they have the equipment to do the work that they're supposed to do.
They don't.
That's
That is
issue.
why they are moving. That is why government actually has a greater role to play in stemming the trend of migration. It's actually a failure of leadership structure. That is just the truth. So it's not a good impact on Nigeria at all. The Nigerians, the government can come and say, oh, it's not a bed of roses, but let us be frank. Those structures are not here in Nigeria.
I'm just going to ask you this, which is a very personal question.
Yeah.
As a businessman who travels also for businesses, how would you describe the business you do over there and the ones you do here?
Nigeria is difficult in the sense that if I don't have an LPO, like a contract from Shell, Chevron, or any of the major, I cannot get a loan from the bank. But right there in America, when I opened an account. In fact, after I had that bad experience because then I used to carry cash, so I was forced to open an account with Bank of America. And the first thing the bank officer asked me was if I would be requiring loans for any of my businesses, and I was shocked.
Interesting.
That will not happen in Nigeria.
Definitely.
So the enabling environment is there for somebody who wants to sell ice cream or any kind of business. There is financial. They will tell you in Nigeria. I've discussed this with bank managers, and they will tell you that we have problem with Nigerians trust. When you give them money, they don't. But still, I still feel Nigerians need to be encouraged. Not everybody is bad.
Yes.
So you can't, any kind of business you're able to set up abroad will thrive, because the facilities to support that business are there. The infrastructure is there. The financial support is there. So I'd rather have those businesses in. Now, Nigerians are trying to save money. They are buying into franchises in America. KFC, most of all these people are Nigerians. Are $500,000 people are paying, and they just sit down in their home and get the returns.
Very true.
So, but you will say, oh, why not invest that in Nigeria? It's a lot of cost. Running diesel generator, a lot of cost. So if you weigh it, you see that it's better for me to run those business over there.
Wow.
I see.
Yeah.
All right, so pretty interesting. All the same, no matter what you say with regard to the pros, the cons, a lot of Nigerians still want to travel abroad, just like we saw, even though it's just a cross-section of the society. And so what would be your advice, to someone who wants to migrate?
It's always good. I always say one thing. There are two sides of a coin, so there are two sides of a story.
Yes.
Most Nigerians who actually want to go there is because they've never been there. But I'll tell you, when you eventually get there, after some years, you want to come back. There are lots of Nigerians who are there, who are eager to come back to Nigeria. Despite all they just want is for this government to put things in place. There is nothing as good as staying in your own country. There is no. I will tell you this. Even a country like Ghana, I was there for some few days, like I said, 2 weeks ago, and the car was using had a Nigerian plate number, and I know the kind of attack I had, because when they see that Nigerian plate, they naturally, I asked questions, why don't Ghanaians like Nigerians? And they said, because of what probably we have come there to do, in terms of 419, all kinds of things. But One other major thing I've observed, apart from that, I know Nigerians are involved in those kind of businesses. Nigerians, I think, are more smarter and more intelligent than Ghanaians. So there's this beef, this envy.
Yeah.
So naturally, when they see us, they are not, very comfortable.
You're scared that
know.
we come and take your stuff.
So even recently, Ghanaians did something. Most Nigerians that have businesses there were told to come and deposit a huge amount of money before they can continue those businesses. And a lot of Nigerian businesses were closed. So there is nothing as good as being in your own country. You invest in your country, you are protected. You know that nobody is going to come and take your businesses away from you.
Sure.
But having it in a country that is not yours, you don't know what's going to happen in 5 or 10 years. The government can come up with a new regulation. Let's even look at Nigeria now. When local content came into being, a lot of foreigners that invested here had to look for Nigerians to indigenize their company.
Yes.
A lot of companies also left. So these things happen all over the world. Everybody is trying. The first basic thing for every president of a country is to protect the interests of its citizens first. So we need to consider those things when we are moving to another man's country.
Absolutely.
So you've been able to actually explain some of the pros and cons, and also to talk about, to tell some persons what they need to know about traveling abroad. Very finally, what are you saying to viewers out there?
I believe strongly that this country will get better. I'm an aspiring public administrator. I believe one day I'm going to be involved, because one thing we are lacking in this country is that people who really have the talents, who have the gifts, who have the knowledge, are not willing to come into government. They're not willing to participate.
Okay.
It's not just we calling for the youths. Recently we had the End Youth SARS protest. It's not just all about that. We still have very elderly people that can bring a law, but they are not being, they see government as like a toggery. They see political activity. So we need to come out and change the system. And when we do, we have human resources, we have everything in this country. We have gold, we have petrol, we have coal, everything. What we lack is good leadership structure. The outside world, they know the potential of Nigerians. They're even scared and worried. Look at a country like China. Look at China today. Any country that has a population, that has mass population, always do well. China, India, these are countries with mass population. They're doing very well, with the exception of Nigeria, because we've not gotten it right when it comes to leadership. So that's the problem. So we need to, when we get that leadership right, there won't be any need for anybody to go out of this country. We have everything here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much for honoring our call. Really appreciate you.
It's a pleasure.
All right, viewers, you already know that all that glitters is not gold, and of course, migrating is not a bed of roses. So we need to also be very careful. I'm sure we must have learned one or two things from Mr. Adewale.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And Lady Chi, any last words from you?
Well, I hope we've enlightened you, because I know this is something we're always interested in.
All right, a huge thank you to our production team and to every one of you for sticking with us. And till we come your way again next time, I want you to stay safe and, of course, stay sane. And it's a bye from all of us in the studio.
Bye for now.
Bye.